Welcome to the Live Fire Media Show. I'm Kawaka47 with the always entertaining Hunter Elliott from RangeHot.com. Join us as we talk about guns, gear, games, movies, and whatever the hell else comes to mind.
How about
And cats, because Hunter's a creepy cat guy.
you know,
Oh God, cat blood. That's disgusting.
it's clean?
I don't. I have nothing against cats. I've had a cat in the past, but that's the one thing that's always annoying. They walk by, the tails up, and you just always look at their sphincter every time you look at the cat. You look at their eyes, you look at their asshole. It's like, good God.
Right. Well, that's so you know they ain't got worms.
Oh, is that what? Okay, cool. That's.
Right.
I mean, yes, it's a true concern. Make sure your cat doesn't have worms, but okay.
Are we recording for posterity now?
Oh, we're already. Yeah, this is already legit.
Okay.
So yeah, so the intro is about cat ass. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I
There
didn't
we
wash
go.
my hands. Look at there, working
Man,
man.
you're filthy looking. Yeah, working man. What is that?
Right.
What is a working man?
Oh my God! Look how clean they are.
Keyboard commando, baby.
So, I want to start out this podcast with a
No.
public service announcement. Okay.
Well,
Now listen, this shit is important, and I need you to take heed.
okay, I'm listening.
Clean the fucking air filters on your chainsaws. All y'all out there that run a chainsaw, clean the air filter. And I'm yelling. I mean, look at that. I'm yelling because I forgot to.
And what kind of trouble that give you?
Well, none. But because it's not. I hear you, brand placement. Can you let me get my PSA before you get all brand placement? I know you got to make that money.
Brand placement, my ass, whatever.
Yeah, got to get that paper.
Yeah, because we're sponsored by nobody. This is just you and I here, huh?
Correct, but
If I
nevertheless,
hear find a brand placement here, I'll pull it out of the koozie if I can. No, maybe that won't. Never mind. I'm not going to. Air filter, chainsaw. Yeah. Okay.
clean your damn filter on your chainsaw, air filter. Look at that. I was embarrassed. And then, yeah.
Talk about brand placement. Look at your fucking shirt, Mr. Steele.
Well, I mean, I ain't been long got off work. Okay? I mean, I can
hear more brand placement. There you go. Look at there you go.
rock the fuzzy belly.
More brand placement.
Man, I'm sponsored by Steel.
Sponsored where?
Yeah.
Hell, not this.
Yeah. Nowhere. Be nice. But
Yeah, right.
no.
Okay, there you go. PS understood. Change your air filters in your chainsaw, but does that kind of go with all your tools to have like filters and shit? Change those things regularly.
It does.
Furnace filter, car filters. I mean,
Yes. But I feel like, Dave, tools get neglected more so.
oh, absolutely,
You know? And,
absolutely.
the other day, I was like, we were on a tree job, and the log truck was running late. So I was killing time, and so I walked over to my chipper, and I'm like, I'm going to clean the air filter on my chipper. Though I just done it like 2 weeks ago.
Right.
I'm like, I got to kill some time, so let's just do that. So I popped the air filter out of my chipper. Man, it looked that thing had been rolled around in the Sahara Desert for a month. I took one in, like I got a leaf blower that we cleaned the stuff up with. You can disassemble it, so you just got a plastic tube about yay big. I stuck that in the air filter and goosed it. And you remember Charlie Brown and Pigpen?
Oh yeah.
It was like, just, I mean, and then, everybody's on the job and they're looking at me and they're like,
damn, who's this hack?
when is the last time you cleaned the air filter on your damn chipper, man, when it was new?
Right.
So, tools get neglected.
Yeah, tools do.
If it's got a grease fitting on it, grease it. If it's got a filter on it, change it or clean it. Most steel chainsaws, at least the pro models, you can wash these with Dawn, hot soapy water like Dawn. Wash them up, hang them out for a day or two, let them dry, and they're good to go for a while. And I always like to take a dab. So you got a little rubber piece right here, and that's like what makes the airtight seal.
Right.
What I like to do is get a big glob of grease, like, you got your grease gun, you're greasing the grease fittings. I'll get a big glob of grease on my finger. I like red and tacky grease because I'm kind of red and tacky. And
This is more subtle brand placement.
this is brand hopeful. And I'll smear that grease around this rubber lip here.
Right.
And hey, don't let me lose your interest.
No. I'm actually just making some notes here on something.
Oh, you're writing that down, huh?
Not exactly, but something.
Right. Hold on, my nose is.
I can make notes. Shut the hell up, okay? I can make notes what the hell I want.
Is that English?
Eat shit.
So anyway, that's my PSA.
I'm assuming you had two of them there, so you always keep an extra one. So if you get to wash one, you have a fresh one to put in while the other one washes and dries.
So I try to keep 3 to 4 filters per saw.
Damn.
Yeah.
That seems like a lot.
It is. And they're about $35 a piece. Well, I say 3 to 4. I always have 2 clean filters on the truck.
Right.
And then usually the ones on the saw, because I changed filters and forgot to bring it in the house and clean it for a while. It was riding around the dashboard. And you know how when you look at something for long enough, you can be right in front of your face and you can't see it.
Yeah.
So this bastard was riding around on the dashboard of my dump truck for weeks and weeks and weeks going, "Hey, Hunter, I'm dirty. You need to wash my stinking ass." Okay, but I'm looking at it, and I'm not caring. I'm like, "Oh, I got another one. I'll do it when I get a chance. When I get a round to it." You know what I mean? And then, holy shit, it's been a couple weeks, and I go to look at the filter on my saw, and it's filthy. So I take out the last new one I got that's clean and put it on. And then I'm like, oh, hell, second dirty filter. Sorry, I got sawdust in my nose. Don't try not to pick my nose, but I ain't going to make no promises. So I'm like, second clean filter is now on the saw. So now I got 2 dirty filters riding on the dash. And I'm like, okay, this is a problem. So I pulled them out of the truck today. And when I get off this thing with you, I'm going to go put them in the soak. But I thought this would be a good PSA.
Well, there's my question to you is, you said you keep that many extra filters with you. How often are you changing filters on job sites? Just when you forget to change it from like end of a day?
I tell you what, man, usually at the end of the day, there's Corporal Buster the cat. Here, look, Busty.
Just call him Jones, like an alien.
Well, he's a Corporal Buster, but he's trying to pick up Sergeant, but his PFT ain't worth a shit because look at that fat belly. Good God.
Looks similar to something else I'm looking at. Oh,
what an asshole. And I'm like, you know what? For this being our 5th podcast, I'm like, I'm going to stay sober for this one. Well, I'm already immediately regretting that decision.
Well, that was your fault.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I pull the cover off and look at it.
Okay.
If it looks okay at the end, but usually if I run it for 3 or 4 days, at the end of the day, I'll pull the cover off and look at it and usually pull it off and bang it on the tailgate of my dump truck.
Right.
And if it ain't a whole lot coming out, then I'll just put a little grease right here and snap it back on. But does that happen all the time?
No, of course not. That's like a perfect world kind of scenario.
But I mean, shit. Let me tell you this. This filter come off a Steel 500i chainsaw, and that's so much as fuel injected, throttle body fuel injected. So when this thing gets dirty and the airflow is restricted, the fucking ECM on the chainsaw learns that through a math, and it cuts the fuel back to keep your damn fuel air mixture correct. Damn chainsaw smarter than I am, which ain't saying a whole lot. But anyway, I really try to stay on top of my father always said, take care of what takes care of you.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, it's no different than your guns and shit. How many of us are, bad about cleaning our guns? I don't clean my guns for shit. I clean them when like one feels sluggish, or if I actually look at it and it's like, ooh, that looks kind of dirty. Like I was looking at my MCX yesterday because I'm going to shoot that tomorrow night, and like just charging it back, I was like, That's kind of dirty. That's piston gun, so it should be clean.
Cleaner,
Well,
right?
well, but when you shoot the absolute piss out of it, it ain't that fucking clean.
Right.
You know. And now, am I gonna clean it at this point? No, hell no. I'll just spray more fucking lube in it and rack it a few times and let it go.
You know what
And
Andrew told
run it
me?
all suppressed.
You do or do not
Do what?
suppress it.
No, I'm gonna run it suppressed tomorrow night.
Yeah. So if you suppress it, it's going to induce a little more fouling.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think
Andrew,
that's why it's as dirty as it is. Pick a spot, Mace.
Andrew told me, he said, run them damp, run the rifle damp, and that way, obviously clean it, but
Right.
make sure it's damp. I mean, this pistol here, this is my this is my carry gun here, little Colt Combat Elite Defender. Love it. I did a review on it, and then I've been shooting. I probably got 1,000 rounds to it. The last time this gun was cleaned was when it was in Hartford, Connecticut, which I'm assuming that's when they built it. So, I'm going to clean it at some point, but I don't get all wrapped around the axle about it.
Yeah, I'm looking at like my echelon. I'm gonna run that tomorrow, and it could probably use a little lube to it.
What do you got, match?
No, just the usual, like the weekly shoot that we've not done in a couple months because it's just between life, kids, weather, work, just haven't made it out. But one of our buddies, he's now gotten super big into NFA stuff, so he was like, "Oh, can we be all suppressed?" It was like, I even harassed him. I'm like, "Geez, somebody gets a couple cans, now we're gonna be all shooting suppressed the whole time." Which,
right?
It's like, no, seriously, that's fine. So yeah, so I run my echelon with the Osprey 45K on it.
Yeah. How you like that Osprey?
I like the design, the form factor idea of it, how it's, not cylindrical when it stays low. It works with most sights.
That's
and
not
honestly, it's the visual of it on a USP is what really sold me. And I have a USP that I put it on. It's fine. I don't have anything pro or against. I literally bought it because the lines matched the USP so well. It looked that hot to me that was enough.
Sure.
But I want to get another handgun can or two, like maybe get a dedicated 9 can, and
maybe you could write a Range Hot review on it.
I mean, I certainly will if you want it.
Yes.
I don't honestly. It's funny enough. I don't actually have a whole lot of time behind it.
We'll do like I do, make it all up.
Yeah, right. I mean, when I did that zombie match, I ran it. Not on this thing. I ran on my one of my CZP09s. I ran on that, and the thing ran great. I mean, it had no issues with it. But yeah, I've got maybe 200 rounds through it. Maybe, and it's mostly just goofing off. So I need to put some serious rounds through it. I think to really get a feel for it. I need to either load some subs or buy some subs and try some subsonics. Because right now I've only been shooting. My loads are 115 grains that are really hot shit to run with compensated guns and ported guns.
Okay.
And then I've got a bunch of factory NATO spec 124s that I've been typically run through my MP5 with a can on it again. So nothing that's subsonic. So I need to get some I need to either buy or load some subsonic stuff and see if it comes with hearing safe. Because I'm betting with being a 45K can, even with subs, I bet it's gonna be a little on the louder side. I would think. I don't know. We'll find out. Something to play with.
Can we take a 45-second recess? Okay, so I'm back. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
So this is a can I'm working on for B&T. This is one of their 5.56 cans, another 3D printed can.
Right.
But it's kind of in this gray, fantastic can.
What's it made of? Like titanium, Inconel?
It's all titanium, all 3D printed, reduced back pressure.
Okay.
But if you remember, I had the Rotex X.
Yep.
Which QD to a birdcage, A2 birdcage.
Right. God, that's what I want. I want something like that so bad.
So this one, look,
because I've got my HK 416 clone. I don't want to break the A2 birdcage off my 416, and so I just wanted to assume get a B&T with an A2 mount It would just be simpler, I think.
Oh yeah,
All right, you're taking the suppressor off.
yeah. I'm just showing the.
What was that? A ratchet mount of some
Well,
kind on that one?
so you loosen it just a cat hair,
Oh, is that the A2 one?
and then it locks right onto my bird cage.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and then when you wanna put it on,
Right.
you kind of find it. Oh, you got to first. You got to do it right. It's got this little.
You call it a gate lock or something like that?
What's that?
Isn't that gate lock, they call that?
Yeah, like a gate lock. It grabs one of these recesses,
Right.
and it just comes down, and then you hold your mouth right, and it locks.
Right.
And then once you've locked it,
Oh, you're still turning it now after you've locked it in. Okay.
now here's the deal: you don't have to loosen the can to get it off and on.
Right.
But if you do it like a turn or so, it does make it easier
Okay.
to get off and on.
So that's like a hub mount can then. You can change that ass end out to.
And you can change this to a hub mount or what have you.
I definitely want that with that A2 birdcage mount just for that 416 rifle, because I know HK's like probably rock set that thing on. I don't want to dick with taking it off. I mean, and honestly, I'm guilty enough. I fell into the whole trap of muzzle devices of flash hiders and brakes and shit. While that was cool and all, at the end of the day, man, I've done enough night shooting. It's hard to beat an A2 birdcage. It really is.
I'm trying to tell you. So I'm just so this is called the Print XH-RBS TI.
Pretty sure I was looking at that earlier today too.
And I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm not gonna say it's better than the Infinity X, but it's pretty damn slick. And so my buddy, Eric Suarez is a really good friend of mine. He was the marketing director for Remington forever.
Okay.
And then he went over to Meprolite. We had to come to Raleigh a couple weeks ago. And so he brought me an advanced sample. He bought me a goodie bag from Meprolite.
Okay.
Some of the stuff I could talk about, some not quite.
Sure.
But this is the new MCO Pro Red Dot.
MCO Pro. Okay. Yeah.
And I have yet to mount it, obviously. He's bringing me they updated the True Vision, and he's bringing me an updated True Vision, which I'm looking forward to. I'm running on this carbine. I'm running the M22.
Let me hold up again. Oh yeah. Okay.
And then on my little 7.5 inch SBR, I've showed you the Barnes rifle.
Right.
I'm running the True Vision. So I'll tell you what, man.
Okay.
I know the Meprolite stuff is a little spendy.
But I mean, okay. I'm pulling up right now, looking at it. Red reticle. I don't even care. 10-way triangle. $500. Is that really, dude? Because that's no worse than EOTech and aim points.
Right, but I mean 500. But now here's the thing: it's all Israeli made.
Right.
And the IDF fields this stuff.
Right.
So there's a hell of a pedigree that comes along with, if the IDF is fielding it.
Right.
So I know it's a little spendy, but I
don't think it is spendy. I think it's right in for good quality, especially proven built optics. If it's no more or less than EOTechs, Trigicons, and aim points,
right,
I don't think it's that spendy. The difference is nowadays, though, we've got so many good options that are not expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Holland's got a ton of offerings.
Burris,
Sig, Burris, Primary Arms, and they all make some really good stuff. Yeah, a lot of it's made in China, but guess what? I don't give a shit. If it gets you the optic sighting you're looking for and it works and holds zero, who cares? I mean,
so not to cut you off, but this is what I remembered.
Okay.
This was announced today. I've had this rifle a few weeks.
Okay.
So this is the new Marlin Dark.
Yeah.
And 357 Magnum.
Oh, getting the pistol caliber. Yeah.
So they announced the 357 and the 44 Magnum today.
What the hell? Wait, rack that thing. Ah, okay. Okay, cool.
This was announced. So I got this as a pre well a pre-production test sample
Right.
a few weeks ago to get, the way Ruger likes for me to do it, or Marlin. They're like, when it's announced, give it a week or two and then publish your review. Don't publish it the day it's announced. I mean,
Yeah, so you're not getting lost in that same swamp of, release dates of shit.
that's
Yeah.
what that's what my buddy Mark told me. He goes, look, you publish it whenever you want when the embargo's up. He said, but if I were you, I would wait, start watching for a week,
Right.
a week out of after announcement, start watching, and when you see the reviews trickle down, then post. Because after it's been announced for a week, people are learning about it. They're Googling it.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing too. Like, my buddy James Reeves, the Firearm Blog, even
Yeah.
he gets called a shill at times because he'll drop a review out, on the day the embargo drops because he's going to get good views on it. And he usually anymore, I feel like he makes comments going, look, just because it's dropping all the same day doesn't mean we're shills, because they're not. They don't take a dime for anything. I've sent them enough test samples with no money exchanged, But in the same breath, if you're not in that hurry to be the first ones to drop it, hell yeah. Sit not shit a week and watch him getting better traffic possibly because you're not fighting everybody else that's dropping all their shit.
And this is like tomorrow, I'm going to do a short on it. I do a couple YouTube shorts
Right.
to get people going ooh and on,
Right.
and then I'll do my full review.
Right.
Well, I'm about done with it, but I might wait another 10 or 12 days,
Sure.
and then all the while I'm posting shorts.
Sure.
But let me tell you something. It is cool. Now I'm gonna.
I mean, real quick side. Your shorts are they like different content, or are they going to be clips that'll be in your full review?
No, they're different clips.
Okay. Anyways,
so yeah. Here's the FUD.
it's okay.
It's
I'll
so
hold against you.
I got an email from my buddy at Ruger about a week and a half after I got it. He's like, "Okay, Hunter, what do you think?" And now they're not inviting me to skew the review,
Right.
but they're like, "Hey, what do you think? Are you having any problems? Is there something going on with this rifle we need to address, especially because it hasn't been announced?"
Right.
So, did you get this rifle and there's a problem that we need to know about? If it is, what is it, so we can address it? But so they're not but they never have tried to influence my review. But he goes, and I'm like, hey, look, we got a couple hundred rounds to it so far. It's been 100% reliable as expected. Lever gun,
right.
Sights were dead ass on it, 50 yards. Fit, form, function, great. It levers nice. But I said, now I appreciate the tactical lever gun. I do. I said, but I've got the Trapper 4570 in 357. I said, I like that better.
That's okay.
And that's what he goes, I get it, man. That's why we make different kinds for different people.
Yeah, you don't have to like everything you review.
Right.
I mean, you can like that gun. You can have zero negatives about the gun, with the exception of being but I like traditional better. I don't care for the modernized M-Lock accoutrements,
Accoutrements, good word.
Yeah. I like seeing some of what's the one brand company called Wooks. They make a bunch of different like wood stocks and wood forends for different guns. But the cool thing is they still add in like M-Lock slots. So you can get, I guess in your case, to be kind of like more traditional looking, but you get those couple M-Lock slots. If you wanted a light or a forward grip, something, you can add it on there and it still has that traditional look. That I think is super cool. Again, is it my flavor? No, give me full. You see my lever gun. It's a full-blown space cowboy lever action.
Which I think is great. Smith & Wesson did that with their lever gun in 44 Magnum that they introduced 2 years ago.
Right.
It's a traditional wood stock, but it's got a couple M-Lock slots right at the front.
Right.
And I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah, because in my opinion, just adding that much more like simple utility to like a classic style gun, and I think that's awesome personally. Like I said, visually whether it lines up for me or not doesn't matter. It's cool that the option is there, so it just more options never hurt, man.
But that's the thing, what I like now. The reason I prefer the Trapper over the Dark is only aesthetics.
Sure, and that means a lot.
Visually, I like the more traditional, but I can appreciate the fact that Ruger's putting out a rifle that's going to appeal to people. Right. They're like, okay, now I don't have to buy this Trapper and change all the furniture.
Right.
It's already ready.
Yep.
So.
No, I appreciate the hell out of that.
You and me both.
I mean, it's what is the phrase like? Variety's the spice of life, or something like that. I mean, it's reality. If you don't like it, cool, don't buy it. Move along. If it fits for you, hell yeah, go for it. Like I think we've lightly touched on it too. Like AR builds, like retro ARs have still been pretty hot, and A2 to A1 carry handle uppers. And I bought a A1 carry handle 733 upper.
Oh.
From TNTE.
Is that an SPR?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm sorry. No, it's a pistol. It's a pistol. I mean, it's fucking lower, but I'm talking about the upper. So it's a 733, which is 11.5 inch, and I want it to be the heat gun. So you see, it's got no bayonet lug. I want it to be the heat gun because they use that downtown scene. But once I got it, I was like, man, this like only irons shit kind of sucks.
Oh, come on.
No, seriously. Like I'm over it. I've run optics and everything. I'm like, I'm not going to shoot this thing because I have an old Olympic Car 15, first AR I bought. It has the 10 or 11 inch barrel with the big ass flash hider, like the XM 177 style. And I don't shoot anymore because it doesn't have an optic. So in this thing, it was like, I'm not shooting this thing. But in that style of keeping it retro modern, though, yeah, now I've added a prism carry optic, 1X prism, and then added in a simple light mount. That's going to blind anything. There you go. That goes into the classic handguard, and like bam, right there, just the extra utility I get out of this setup. That is just awesome. This thing is still stupid light. It's still retro-ish. I'm gonna try to do some cool looking angles. I'm not getting too far from the damn mic, but yeah. So it's like old school, but has enough modern shit to it.
Right.
That's just cool. Make your shit your own. That's why I like that lever action. That thing is cool.
Guns are very personal.
Absolutely, and too many people forget that shit when they're keyboard commandoing.
Yeah, and you have to when you buy a gun. If like me, a lot of guns I don't change nothing.
Right.
Because, oh God, here
because you're a FUD.
Because I'm a FUD, and I feel like a lot of guns that I gravitate toward are fucking perfect out of the box.
Sure, like all your 1911s.
Well, not all of them.
I'm fucking with you, dude.
But all the Colts and Dan Westons and Ruger.
Yeah, pushing the FUD button here.
But yeah, I mean, you're right. I have a lot of FUD in me, and I didn't realize it. But it was God Almighty. So I got
keep digging your hole. Go for it.
I mean, fuck it. We're all friends here. I got a 3-inch Python, the new one.
Right.
And I got it right. Well, I got it a couple months before it was announced. Did a review for my buddies up there at Colt. And I wound up buying it from my buddy. I'm not going to tell you what I paid for it because you're going to think I'm.
No, I don't want to hear it because I want a 3-inch, but I don't want to hear it.
I can get you one for cheap. But
anyways,
I carry that a lot.
But you carry it.
I do. I carry it a lot. That little 3-inch Python.
Blue or stainless?
Stainless. I don't think they've got a blue. They're blue.
Oh yeah, you're right. The blue's limited to like models
4 1/4 right now. Okay. I don't know if they're doing a 6, but I carry that 3-inch pipe, and I put the what they call the duty stocks on it. They're real slim.
Okay.
And I was sitting over here, and I had it on the table beside me with a speed strip of some old school. I think it was.
It's in our wad cutters. You were going to, weren't you?
It was double tap, 150 grain, full wad cutters.
Full wad cutters. Okay.
Full wad cutters, baby.
Okay.
And I was sitting here now. Candy, my girlfriend Candy, she got a Springfield 911
Mm-hmm.
380. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. She loves that pistol, and I love autoloaders, but I carry the 3-inch Python and the I can't even find it. The 3-inch Python and the 3-inch Defender are my 2 carry guns, and they get, a lot of times when I open the safe, it's whichever one was within hand's reach.
Right. Right.
Whatever. And but I'm sitting here and I've been carrying that a while. And Candy looks over. She said, "I can tell you're getting old now." She said, "Because we first started dating like 6 years ago, you're all you ever carried was the 1911." She said, "I noticed about a year and a half ago, the occasional revolver would be on the table."
Uh-huh.
And she's like, "Now every time I look, you got a damn revolver in your pocket. You carry that Python." And she's not lying. She's like, "You're getting old. And now it's lever guns. Every time I turn around the house, there's a lever. I'm tripping over a new lever gun and a new revolver." And I was like, "God almighty!" And I didn't even pick up on it,
Right.
And I'm like, "Oh, I need to go buy 3 ARs to balance it out."
I'll defend you a little bit. I'll defend you a little bit. Lever guns are obviously at a new all-time resurgence high,
Which
they
I'm
are.
so thankful for, man.
I mean, it's cool. Obviously they've always been around. I didn't give a shit about any of them. Yes, they were fun, but I was like, it's just, I'm not going to buy one of those things until they became tactical lever guns. I was like, yes, I want one of these things. So now guess what? That's why I have one. But even the revolvers, they seem like they're kind of resurging a little bit too.
I hope so.
I put my hands on that Diamondback. They have a new 3-inch revolver. I put my hands on it GOS, and it was a really smooth feeling. The lines, it might be, honestly, it's probably too modern stylized for you. It kind of reminded me of, what was it? Kimber put out that revolver a few years ago. Looked really good. I heard it was really, really snappy to shoot. I'm sure if that's what it's called.
I did a review on one, believe it or not.
But the Diamondback, it didn't look like a Colt. It didn't look like a Smith. It's probably why I thought it looked cool, because it had different enough lines to it. And again, for its size, I get somebody grabbing that, carrying it. And the capacity thing, man, here's where I'm getting older. I'll say is, I don't give a shit what you carry. Just know how to use it. Who gives a shit? I don't care if it carries 17 rounds or 6 rounds. Who gives a shit?
So
know how to use it. I mean,
that's a good segue, though. That's a real good segue, Dave. Let's talk about EDC real quick.
Sure.
Generally speaking, what do you carry, and how many? Do you carry a reload, and how many reloads if you do?
9 times out of 10, yes, I'm carrying an appendix rig.
What are you carrying?
Usually this Echelon.
Okay.
Minus the can, minus the light. I'll carry the Echelon and an appendix rig, and yeah, I've got a whole other mag.
How many rounds does that hold?
This one's 17, and this one, if the shirt conceals it, is 21, I think.
That's some Muga.
So way more than I'd ever need. If I'm not carrying that, a lot of times I'm carrying my HK VP9, similar mag setup. I've got an appendix rig. I'll carry my CZ P09, one of 3, which have 19 round magazines. And if I don't feel like carrying jack shit, I keep my wife has my FNS, a Gen 1 striker fired, and it has 17 round magazines. With that one, I usually carry the magnets in it, and that's it.
Right.
But do I usually carry an extra magazine? Yes. Do I think that magazine is ever needed? No, probably not really.
I'll tell you why I think it's a good idea to carry a spare magazine.
Sure.
And it's not necessarily for the reload.
Okay.
If you have a magazine failure.
Yeah, okay.
And I know that
clear, another one in.
And
yeah.
So this was a number of years ago. I have a Colt Special Combat Government chambered in Super 38.
38Super?
No.
Super 38.
Yeah, the pistol is called 38 Super. The cartridge is Super 38.
No, I always thought it was 38 Super.
Now the there's going to be a huge debate.
Okay, don't. Is this gonna be like a 45 auto versus
No,
ACP?
well, no, there ain't no such cartridge as 45
No,
auto.
but you know what I'm getting at.
Or excuse me, there's no cartridge. There's no such.
But you,
cartridge
but
as 45
you,
ACP.
but you know what I'm getting at.
Right, but I like.
Is that what it kind of falls into? The cartridge
No.
ammo?
Well, yeah, I think everybody's called it. But so here's a little history lesson.
Oh God.
All right. So Colt came out with the 38 auto,
Okay.
and it was a 38 caliber auto loading cartridge. 38 auto.
Right.
That's my cat, my other cat, little Shug. And then back when bootleggers was a big deal, the FBI and all the law enforcement agencies were having trouble penetrating the doors.
Right. Because the 45 is too slow. It's not punching through door seal. Right.
In the 38 auto. So
38
Colt
Super.
come out with the Super 38 auto.
Yeah, 38 Super.
Well, it was called the Super 38 auto,
Okay.
and it is externally identical as the 38 auto, but it's the Super 38 auto, because it's fast.
Okay.
And then at some point, Colt just dropped the auto, and it became Super 38.
Right. Or
But
38
the
Super.
handgun was called a 38 Super.
I guess that's what I'm still gonna bust your balls. Say I think this is like a 45 auto versus 45 ACP. People always just call the ammo 38 Super. Where the guns, if the gun's called 38 Super now, they'll buy a gun. It's chambered in that. They're gonna go, oh yeah, it's a 38 Super. I've never heard anybody say Super 38. I've always heard it 38 Super.
And when people are like, "Well, that's wrong, Hunter," I'll tell you how I know it ain't wrong.
You're like moments shining to like go off on some knowledge and lore.
If you look at the barrel hood of any Colt, and Colt invented it, the barrel hood is labeled Super 38.
Right.
So,
Just
but
it's 45 auto, not 45 ACP.
exactly.
I
But
get
now
it.
there's manufacturers out there now that put 45 ACP on their barrel hood.
Sure.
And here's the thing. It's the same thing as 38 Super versus Super 38. The 45 ACP shoots the 45 automatic cartridge because ACP stands for automatic Colt pistol.
I totally get where you're at. I'm with you. But anymore, I've kind of fallen the line of the same thing with magazine versus clip. I just honestly don't give a shit anymore. Because if I go on a tangent on somebody, if that means they're new to this shit and that's that might like alienate them away because they're going to be too afraid to sound stupid because they say a clip instead of magazine, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care anymore.
Correct.
Yeah. I do it. Hey man, it's a magazine, not clip, but it's fine. You say clip, it's fine. I'm just
anyway. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get off on that. But so I was out shooting my Special Combat Government in Super 38,
right,
and I had bought a couple of spare magazines,
right,
and I'm trying to remember. And I, you know what? This was so long ago. This was right when the Special Combat come out. Anyway, Special Combat Government's got a really beautiful magwell. It's I can't remember who makes it right now. But anyway,
magwell.
What's that?
I'm just laughing. It's a beautiful magwell. I'm like, that's a magwell, man. I mean, like,
no,
magwell on it.
No.
I'm fucking with you.
Yeah. This is like fitted. It's very aesthetically pleasing. It's visually arresting.
Okay.
It looks as if it grew from the gun.
Sure.
And so I'm out there, and this is a match pistol. So I'm out there, and the magazines come with a pretty healthy bumper base pad, A, to get past the magwell, and B, so you can slam the fuck out of it.
Right.
And so I shot the gun dry, boom, 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 went to slide lock, come up here, new mag. Maybe I was a little aggressive, and I slammed it in. When I pulled my hand back, the fucking base pad followed my hand, and there was 9 rounds of ammunition along with a magazine spring. This was like, fring.
Right.
And I'm standing there with a gun at slide lock, and I got a magazine base pad, body, spring, and 9 rounds at my feet. And I said, fuck. So, but if God forbid if that had been a defense situation, I loaded it and it happened. All I gotta do is go for my next mag. So spare mag is good if you have a magazine failure.
So
Also for an additional, ammunition for sure.
My thought with that, and here's the thing, I think this should be like a overstanding important thought with all this shit is always be evolving you yourself, Any of your mindsets and your training and how you're gonna operate this shit should always be. Don't be stuck in one fucking way because you read one book by one Navy SEAL in 1970s and that's your doctrine. No. Shit evolves. You should evolve too.
Right.
And that's where my mind goes with this shit. When Shasho Keltec dropped that 5.7 pistol that has no magazine, you have stripper clips to load it, and a bunch of people hate it, a bunch of people are loving it. One of the first guys I heard say gave a positive praise was Reeves. And he was quoting some statistic information from self-defense shootouts that the possibility of reloading or the idea of people reloading in a defensive shootout is like next to nothing.
Yeah, I think the average defensive shoot, you use 3 to 5 rounds.
Right. So if you've got a 20-round gun, what do you need an extra magazine for? I get the stance and that idea, but also it comes into, on that gun in particular, if you got a malfunction, what happens? Because there's... Whoa, we good? Oh, shit.
Certainly, if you had a malfunction, how do you do a tap rack bang?
Oh, that was weird. Totally went silent on me, and like we lost connection or some shit. That was weird.
Right.
Yeah, you can't do a tap rack bang.
How do you do a tap? Like if you get a double feed.
Right. I get that. I truly do. At the same time, like I still carry an extra magazine, so yes, I could do a magazine or a malfunction clearing. I get that, but I also at the same time I feel like probably the biggest issue with most people's EDC shit is they probably don't pull it out enough and either A, use it to train with it, and B, keep it clean from lint and shit in there. If your gun's well maintained, I'm kind of like that one mag is probably fine. It's probably all you need.
Probably more than enough. Now I if I'm carrying now I carry this little pistol. There's 7 in it.
Right.
And 7 and then 8. 7 in the mag, 1 in the pipe.
Right.
And I carry an 8-round spare magazine.
Right.
Or if I'm carrying a revolver, I carry 6 rounds in a speed strip. Look, there's Rocco the gray cat. Can I use a politically incorrect term here?
I don't give a shit.
He's a bit of a retard, but I love it.
Hang on, let's pause here for a second. I'm going to see my wife, make sure she's all good. Okay, I'm back.
I left you a special message to figure out while you're editing.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No dick pics, hopefully.
What were you watching?
Oh, God. Shut the fuck up.
You're like, where'd that great big old hairy anaconda come from? That's Daddy's.
More like a peanut on a mossy floor.
It looks like a baby's arm holding a damn Red Delicious.
Whatever. Yeah, so anymore, like my like gun mantra, or I don't know what the fuck you want to call it, whether it's like tactical Timmy training, everyday carrying, shooting in general, just practice with your shit. It's more important. And the biggest thing of it is you do you. You want to do old school shit, do old school shit. You want to do high capacity, what was the phrase? High speed, low drag shit. Whatever, man. You do you. That's all that matters. You do.
But we could agree that you should always be seeking to elevate your proficiency and hold your skill. So you should be seeking out good training, taking classes, and then practicing what you've learned. Hone that skill.
Yeah.
And I hate to sound like a shill, but I'm going to plug Gunsight because I'm going to tell you what, man.
That's fine.
Gunsight is amazing. But if you don't have the money for Gunsight, because it's expensive.
Now, all that training, that's the thing I think is the biggest problem, is that training, like I went to that's different. Ohio Range Day last year, and I'm going again in 25. And that's a huge training event. It's expensive. What I pay for that event, plus my hotel, plus my ammunition. it's like a vacation just for me, not for my wife and kids and anything else. So I am cool with if you can be on a range. It's not some FUD controlled indoor 1 round every 3 second bullshit. If you can get on a range and shoot however you want to shoot, listen to legit instructors who put the stuff online. There are plenty that do it, and you can learn there. It's not perfect because you're not getting their feedback to what you're doing, but it's better than nothing.
It would be better than nothing. But there's some good options. So I'm in North Carolina, and I've got Trace Armory Group, which does fantastic training. And then we've got Green Ops training coming down. They're going to open up a place in North Carolina. I got a pistol class lined up with Green Ops, and I was on their podcast 2 Wednesdays ago.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy Josh Saul is one of the instructors. That man he's been in some of my videos. He is a fucking machine.
Is he the guy you're saying he wanted to hop on our shit show of a podcast?
Yeah, I want to bring him in and let him talk. He is a machine. He's really good at what he does.
Nice.
But yeah, man, always, train, practice.
See ya.
So anyway, that's my long and the short of it.
Yeah. No, that's it. But it's all the same shit carries over to everything, whether it's your defensive carry or anything else. You don't train and practice. What's the point?
Shoot what you like.
Yeah.
If you don't like 1911s, make an appointment with a fucking neurologist in the morning. Figure out what's wrong with
me. No, if you were me, I just said you're wrong. But
right. Well, no, I mean, it could be you're mentally, vacant in the brain housing group, and
I've always loved 1911s. I always will.
Oh God, I want to talk about them, but I'm not
we're not going to go deep dive on that. No,
I'm not going to. I want to though.
We'll do like a 1911 deep dive episode where I can walk around, do some other shit, and come back and check on you as you're still rambling off on 1911.
I'm going to get the Kuhnhausen manuals out. We're going to talk about Kuhnhausen, and, but shoot what you like. If you like SIG or
if you like pocket 380s, I don't care.
And see, so Candy, she's 5'2" and she's 115 pounds, 120 pounds, and if she carries anything bigger than that little Springfield, it prints.
Yeah.
So she carries that little Springfield, but what I do is I got her hooked up with double taps. She carries double tap ammunition, and I'm not sponsored by Double Tap, but look how cute she is. I cannot believe you made something that cute.
Hey, come on, look at this. Look at this.
You're a fucking chud, man. You're a fucking chud.
Stud.
No.
You said it right, stud.
No. I think you ain't got your mic.
Move along, Hunter. Move along.
I had a really good insult. You ain't got your headphones plugged in all the way. Got it in. So, move along, Hunter. Move along. Yeah, I feel that. I'm so disgusted by trying to fix you that I feel like I'm trying to beat the ocean back with a fucking push broom. I mean, I love you.
You can't fix
You're a
perfection.
wonderful guy, and you're an amazing
perfection.
media guy. Like, if I had a gun company, you would be my media guy because I know you're the shit. But I mean, you're as hard headed as I am, or maybe worse.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
I'm trying to tell you, but you know what though? I see that as a quality in people. I have picked this fucking hill, and I'm going to die on this son of a bitch, whether it means a damn thing to anybody else.
Yeah, right.
I don't mean to swear so much, but I'm wound up.
I don't care.
We just did this massive tree job, and we got it finished, and it was an oak tree.
Keep talking your tree job.
I'm going to show you the stump of this tree.
Pull up a picture.
We cut this tree down. This is me just flushing the stump. Let's see if that'll work.
Ooh, that's a big stump.
The saw that I'm running has a 41-inch bar on it.
Holy crap.
And it lacked about it lacked about 6-8 inches of going out all the way through. 124 cc chainsaw.
Damn.
Yeah, she'll cut. She will cut a tree in a heartbeat. But it was I think that was a pin oak. And it was about 12 feet from a house, a really nice old house. So we craned everything down and.
I was gonna say, if you get some bigger equipment to bring it down.
Well, the partner in the tree, but craning it down, and man, we made a bunch of money. So I'm in a good mood. But
no, that's cool.
Like this is, see if that'll work.
Give it a second.
This is Les.
That's a big tree.
Finishing it up. And that's my 066 he's got with a 3-foot bar.
Damn.
Hanging. Yeah, he had to.
The few times I've run chainsaws, it's been in some questionable settings of using one and cutting shit down, not knowing what I was doing. I'll say this. It was a lot of damn fun cutting shit down with a chainsaw.
Man, let me tell
you
what.
It was a lot of fun. Talk about like a therapeutic thing. Like you're just like, yeah.
I love chainsaws as much as I love guns. I do.
I can believe that.
I do, man. And I got this one saw. I got a 066 Magnum. I bought in October of 1996, and I got it right now. Like that saw that I just showed you. He climbed and he took the tree with him. That saw paid for my house. I logged timber with that for.
Oh my God.
You know, like I logged timber with that saw and made enough money to pay for my house with it. And it still runs like a damn sewing machine right now.
The steel still runs.
I mean, it lives in the house.
Nice.
Candy's like, why you got that chainsaw? I'm like, you better watch it. Do not make me pick between you and that 066.
Oh my God.
Do not.
Oh my God. You got problems.
I'm trying to tell you.
You got problems.
Is this yours?
I don't know, man. I feel like that's straight up.
Is this yours?
Who's that hot chick just came in?
The wife.
Right.
So my mind was running on from something we talked about just off camera last week about doing bill drills.
Right.
Doing shorts of bill drills.
Right.
And let me tell you a mini little story thing.
All right.
In our race show last year, company's flights, I don't know what happened. Our flights were all jacked up, and I was flying out like hours later than everybody else. So like we half tore the guns down in the show before they all left. So basically, it was just me and then Ron from Inland take the rest of the guns down.
My cat just ripped one. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's disgusting.
It smells like old cat food.
But so when the show ended, though, Ron helped me tear down the rest of the guns. We had lit up my high points. It was only like half the guns, anyways. Put them in our job boxes, lock them up, and then I grabbed an Uber to get to the airport and catch my flight. And on that drive over, I was scrolling through my phone, and I saw another buddy's video. He was running his Beretta 1301 slugs, and what was he doing? He was running. He's like running the full tube plus 2 4-round like side saddle like magazines that click in. So maybe it's total of like 10 round. No, I don't know. Capacity doesn't matter, but it had a certain number to it. We'll say it was 15 rounds. Running 15 rounds as fast as he could on steel. And I was like, I got a 1301. I have a setup different than his. I could do that. And I could probably do it a little faster because my setup's different enough. And I thought, I'm going to challenge Clint on that. Because why not? And maybe that's the thing. Like gun industry, gun people, do more fun shooting shit and challenge other people they know. Because why not? Like, hey, Clint, look, here's my time on this thing. Pow, 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 pow. Reload.
And have your timer.
Pow, pow, pow. Sure, and show the time to it. I mean, if people don't want to believe you on the verbal time, I mean, people get lame like that. But there's nothing to win. You're not showing off. It's just a fun thing.
and it'll
to tag back to somebody, and maybe if he gets tagged, he'll go, oh shit, I'm gonna try and do it better, or somebody else will go, man, I'm gonna see if I can do it any better. And that kind of got my mind when talking to you about doing build drills. It's like,
Dave.
Man, I'm gonna kind of do that with build drills because I have some different shit. Like I've got my M1 sitting right there. And have you ever done build drills with an M1 Karen before? Probably have, but I don't know. I'm gonna do it with one because why the hell not?
All right, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna see your M1 Garant.
Okay.
And I'm gonna raise you a build drill with a brown bass muzzleloader.
No, that'd be boring as fuck.
It would. However, I would like to get in on this.
That's my point.
And how about this? I've got a Springfield M1A loaded 308.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, I mean, okay, so
holds the ammo. I mean,
yeah. What are the parameters of the build drill? Like, are we shooting large calibers? Let's create
no. What is a build drill? It is number of rounds on target. Hang on, grab this thing.
But
right here.
I can't read that.
I know you.
I'm familiar with build drill.
Well, I know this is a real. Here, fuck with my zoom here. This is Drill Index.
Okay.
These are really cool. These cards have a crap ton of drills, but so it has a build drill. Can you?
No.
Oh god, this is
I
epic.
would not be opposed.
All right, let's try to zoom this. There we go. How's that? Zoom the camera in so you can read it.
Or carbine, high, ready.
Oh, you ain't got to read it. I'm just making sure you can see the words though.
Barely.
I'll read the damn thing back to you.
Hey, would you just read that back to me?
Yeah, you're such an ass. Shut the fuck up. So, yeah, build drill. One IPSC target at 7 yards. Pistol from holster or carbine from high or low ready. Part time 3.5 seconds. At signal, draw and fire 6 rounds in the A zone. Try double build drill with a reload after 6. So that's your parameters. So me doing it with an M1 Garand versus you doing it with an M1A, it's a matter of high or low ready, safety on, beep, safety off, fire your 6 rounds.
Fuck, that's gonna be tough.
Why is that gonna be tough? Why is that gonna be tough? Why is that gonna be tough?
How about this? I want to do it with the Ruger SFAR.
Dude.
308.
In the end, do it with every fucking thing you have.
Yeah, okay.
That's my point I'm getting at. Don't just pick one gun. Do it with the fucking lever gun. I'm gonna do it with the lever gun. Are you kidding me? I'll do it with my Henry Space Cowboy lever gun.
Okay.
Do it with your AR. I'm gonna do it with my 7.62 AK. I'll do it with my 5.45 AK. I'll burn 5.45 ammo just to do it with that thing. I'll do it with my short 7.62. I'll do it with my full size 5.56 AK.
On an IPSC target.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point. Is 6 rounds in the A zone target. I mean, and you can show your shit. You can show if you pulled one and missed it. Who gives a fuck? Not trying to make sure you do it perfect. You're just doing some different stuff and to challenge other people because why not? Have some fun with it.
I think that's cool. I'll start out. I'm gonna try it with it. I got a Ruger SFAR, and I love that bastard.
Other than saying it's an AR, I don't know what the hell that is.
The SFAR.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that is.
Oh, it's a 308 in an AR-15 footprint.
Oh, interesting.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's an AR-15 size rifle, man.
Right.
Chambered in 308.
Interesting.
But and it's lightweight. It's super easy to carry. Yada yada yada.
Yeah, recoils like a bitch. So it recoils like a bitch. Okay, fine. Do it with that, but also still do it with your M1A that loaded because I'm gonna do it with a Garand right there.
I think the Garand is
30-06.
cooler than that, though. I mean, have cooler than an M1 Garand.
I mean, like pushing this shit forward, like you can game it however the hell you want. Like, I think about some of this shit, like counting rounds. Is counting rounds really that important?
Okay, so let me ask you this then. Okay, that's a good question. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. That is the question. Is it that important?
Is it now? Okay, I'm going to preface this with saying I spent 4 years in the Marine Corps and I trained a lot. Okay, but I'm not a
Tactical Timmy.
Right. But I'm also not a. I was never deployed for combat.
Right.
I've never been to combat.
Right.
I've never shot at anybody
Right.
as a Marine.
Right.
So,
which is fine. I've never shot anybody in my life ever for anything else other than animals.
Right. Well, it was different. I got a little bit different story about
Just
that.
type of go.
But we'll save that little tidbit for later. So I'm not a combat veteran. I'm a veteran. Right. I'm not a combat veteran.
Right.
And I'm not going to portray myself as such. However, as how feasible would it be? You get in a self-defense situation. You got your handgun with 10 rounds, 17 rounds, what have you. Understand the adrenaline dump you're going to get.
Right.
Even if you're a warfighter and have experienced it, the adrenaline dump you're going to get.
Right.
Are you going to be able to round count? Are you going to shoot the padlock?
I know that's where I'm thinking of a few guys I know that have genuine combat experience. I kind of want to ask them, like, hey, like I get because a couple of them are trainers, the other ones are not, and like use the trainer. Is round counting? Is it that important? Like say in a build drill, you're supposed to do 5 rounds. I'm sorry,
6
rounds. What if I fire 7 rounds? What if I fire 5 rounds? Obviously, that would be penalty against you because or what if you're only loading the magazine to 6 rounds? So you're just ripping as fast as you can
till you get a slide lock or
yeah.
both.
What if I only load 6 rounds into the clip for the Garen, so I only fire the 6 rounds? Pow, 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 pow. I don't care because I don't think counting because like too many times I know guys that have done not live fire training but like simunition training, and they talk about they get into an engagement that they didn't know they knew an engagement would happen, didn't know when it would happen. They would talk about how, oh man, I think I fired like 3 shots, and they're like, dude, you fired like 8.
And that's the thing.
I have no recollection of that. So why is counting that important to it? And
they know it's a simulation,
right?
And they know that an encounter is coming.
Right.
And they still the adrenaline dump. And here again, I am not a deployed warfighter.
Right.
But now we spend a lot of time training, so I have a modicum of understanding. But when the shit hits the fan, are you gonna be like, you got your 30-round magazine in your AR, you're like, I'm at 29 rounds, let me shoot one more and do a reload.
Right.
I don't think so.
I mean, I get like when you're playing a game, they tell you steel cardboard how many rounds you're going to put into it to neutralize it. But the reality is you're going to put fucking rounds into a target until that target physically drops. Right? That's what my mind's going to go to. You're going to go to the most basic core of I'm going to keep shooting that motherfucker until he falls down to the ground. Whether I did that with 5 rounds or did it with 30 fucking rounds.
Right.
So I don't like.
He might get a reload.
Right. That's why I don't care about counting that much in it, So is that gaming it maybe in the sense of doing a build drill? I'm going to only put 6 rounds in my gun. If it is, so be it. I don't give a shit. It's about having fun first place. And you're doing a drill and having fun with it.
It's still adding some training aspects to it.
Absolutely.
To kind of still hone in on your proficiency.
Absolutely. I think so too. So we'll get this shit rolling. I think I'm honestly I'm gonna try and record a lot of my shit first person perspective, just because it's a little bit different.
I'll set a camera behind me and then I'll do a timer. I got a real nice timer.
But my funny thing is like time is changing now that most of my shooting is during weekdays, so it's after work. Like tomorrow I'm gonna shoot, and we're probably wearing nods and be shooting suppress. So I'm not gonna try and do shit with it tomorrow night because I don't have a night vision camera to record anything, so I'm not gonna bother fucking with it. Who knows? Maybe I will last minute. I don't know. But like the M1, I definitely want to record that with some good light.
That will be cool.
And do the build drill with it. And yeah, if it's a pain in the ass to load 6 rounds in that clip, maybe I'll put 8 rounds in it, and I just gonna let it go. I mean, because who cares? Just shoot the fucking thing.
Just shoot and have fun. Burn some powder up, man.
So, but then I want to pass this thing on to some other guys I know that get out and shoot a lot. I'm going to push this idea onto them too. Like, hey, record some build drills. Like, pass it on. Show your time. Pass it on to others. Let's like get enough community people of like doing this. Because why? Because it's fun.
I'll get Andrew to do
guns. You know what I mean?
I take some cameras in there and get Andrew to do it. That dude right there is a machine.
Well, I mean, I think like some of our other reviewer buddies that, like, I talked how you do make a point to get in personal shooting time in. And I talked to some other friends, and they're like, they don't get personal shooting time. It is only for doing teeny of guns. And those guys, I'm like, cool, then fit a build drill in to your review. It'd be a total side thing, or you can put it in your review. Who gives a shit? But that can be a quick little short that you throw out there of like, oh, hey guys, we did a build drill with this new $7,000 pistol. Doesn't say shit about the gun, doesn't say shit about me, but we're just gonna do it, and here's our outcome. You're putting rounds on range with it. You're still doing a certain level of training and having fun with it.
That's the thing when I don't want to rehash old content, but even if I'm doing a T&E, I'm trying to still get something out of it for me.
Right. As you should.
I mean, let's do a couple of holster, or let's do a couple mag changes. I mean, probably half the ammo that I use is ammo gifted to me.
Right.
From Double Tap, Defender, Hornet A. Are we running over time?
No, I just looked until it was 11 o'clock. I was like, oh shit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, we're good. We started late anyways.
That's my fault.
No, it's
so
not.
That ammo is gifted to me. Instead of just standing on a square range in isosceles and just banging away, get some damn training out of it. Something.
Right. Something is better than nothing.
We'll do the draw, shoot, boom, boom. Reload, boom, boom. Reload, boom, boom. And you know what? I tell you what I should do, and I'm guilty of this. I should record more of that than just a shoot.
You know what? Probably most of us. I shouldn't say most. Who the fuck am I? I used to record all my matches and a lot of their shit, but I don't record jack shit now because the editing is a pain in the ass. But maybe more reviewers should like share some of that shit. Like, I don't think there should be like a standard for reviewers because I think that's fucking stupid. You enjoy guns. You got guns one level or another, and you enjoy shooting it, and you can understand the quality of a gun. Whatever, you don't ever have to become a good shooter to enjoy and appreciate the quality of a gun.
However, you should have a degree of proficiency and perhaps expertise.
Right.
So,
I agree with that, but you can't ever really map that out, though. You can't say this should be a baseline. Like that was the thing I saw. A bunch of my buddies were bitching about on their podcast a couple weeks ago. Somebody tried saying this should be there should be a standard for gun reviewers of skill levels and shit. It's like, yeah, but there's not enough time in the world to go through everybody's background to know what they've done or not done with guns.
Everybody with a YouTube channel, what do we got to meet once a year at NRA and shoot a fucking qualified match?
Right. I mean, get fucked.
But you know what? Okay, but here's the beautiful, and I'm not going to get political, but here's the beautiful aspect of capitalism. Okay?
Yeah.
If you're a gun reviewer and you're putting out good content that seems to be well put together,
right?
People will follow you and they will like what you do, and they will encourage you to do more. If you suck at it and you're a fucked, God, I want to call out this one guy, but I'm not going to do it.
Don't call anybody out.
I'm not, but this one.
You can give somebody props, but don't call anybody out. There's no point in that.
I'm not. That's why I didn't do it. I'm being respectful. This guy's a fucking.
I'll say that too because I saw there was a channel came across my feed the other week, and I sent it to some other friends. I was like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's his thing anymore. All his video content is this shit talking with video overlays of basically just perpetuating drama in the gun industry." I'm like, man, fuck off with that. Who cares? Like,
why are we trying to divide us?
I don't give a shit because I totally unrelated to that. I will say that I think there are a good number of reviewers that can't shoot for shit.
Sure.
And I mean across any fucking platform because sure you can get guys that are killer with a shotgun. They can't shoot an AR or handgun to save their lives. But by God, you give them a shotgun in their hands, they're going to mop the fucking floor with you, Sure. Or they'd be like a damn surgeon with a shotgun, or like long range guys. Like, I don't know dick about long range shooting, Would I enjoy doing it? Sure, absolutely. But I don't know shit about it. But then at the same time, then there's some of those guys, they do know their way around the gun. a fun one I discovered was Jim Tar, Guns and Ammo. I know you know Jim Tar.
I do.
I've read his shit for years. I had met him more than a few times, but I was squatted with him in an AK match, and all of us were so ill prepared with how we got our guns because we were like sponsored shooters, and we were just like, "Fuck it, we're gonna have fun. Who cares? Have fun with it." And I had fun with it, and I finished like middle of the pack for the whole match. So I was like, all right,
That's respectable.
for putting a little effort in. I feel like I did pretty good of several hundred people. Like it was like 300 people, I think. I finished middle of the pack. I'm happy with that. Jim Tar was way up there. I was like, oh, damn, Jim can shoot, And even watching it, I was like, all right, fucker can shoot. I'm like, I like that. That's cool, But does it really mean shit at the end of the day, though? Because he writes good content. He knows his information. No, I don't mean shit. You can know the material and not be a good, steady shot.
I agree with that.
I mean,
those who do, those who can do, those who can't teach.
Maybe. I know you're picking.
I'm just picking, but I get you. I mean, there's a lot of people that said that you need to have a military or law enforcement background to be a gun reviewer.
Yeah, bullshit.
And man, I tell you this, I got to tell you this story, and I'll keep it brief. I was out at SSI, one of the places I shoot. This was a long time ago.
I got there, 10 years, 12 years, 20.
Easy now. Wow. just hold on.
Dude, I've been shooting for 20 years. Come on, man.
Yeah, I know, but my father, hold on. This is a story inside.
Oh my God, story on a story.
This is the inception. My father had a 1987 Chevrolet Beulahville van.
Okay.
Half-ton van, okay?
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but okay, van.
It's a half-ton van, and no windows or nothing in it.
Okay.
And he had a reloading bench in the van.
Okay.
With his single-stage Hornet A press, tumbled the whole 9 yards. He had an inverter.
Right.
With a refrigerator.
Okay.
Now, my father would go in the morning to shoot a match. And he would shoot the match, and he would hang out, and he would shoot 500, 600, 800 rounds. When the heat of the day came, Ronnie get in that old Chevrolet Beulahville, and it had like a damn 65-gallon gas tank on it. He would fire that sumbitch up, and sit in there in the air condition, and eat his sandwich, and drink a Coca-Cola, and reload. In that van, I shit you not. And then, a couple hours go by, it cools down. He'd go out there with the rounds he just reloaded and shoot again. And it was the damnedest thing. But anyhow, I was at SSI, and there was some law enforcement guy. I'm not going to say who because I'm not going to.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was 80% done with developing the load with this Savage 308 that I had bought, and I'd done some work on it, and I sent it to Tom Bellevue, gunsmith in Wendell, North Carolina. He had done some work on it. It was a precision rifle, big old fat bull barrel. I had the actions, the lugs trued. I had everything, the face trued. All the lugs were machined and lapped, barrel free floated. It was not aluminum pillar bed, but I had a stock or a chassis now.
Mm-hmm.
Was a single block of aluminum. So the action was bed and a single block of machined aluminum. It was $3,000 rifle. We're talking probably 2005 money. And it was
so like 20 years ago.
Yes. Can I just tell my fucking story? Damn it. And I had developed the load with the Hornet A 168 Gray Match King and IMR 4895 using federal brass and the federal gold match primers. And it was sub half MOA. Like it was I say that now. I had a great big old Leupold fucking Hubble telescope on it, but it was a shooter. And I got there, and the way the range worked is you had like a 200-yard range here, but then the 100-yard firing line here.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever got first got to pick, is everybody shooting from 200 yards or 100 yards? So they would run a range flag up. So I got there, and there were some guys shooting the 100-yard line. So I'm like, all right. So I rode down there, and I'm like, this is fine. And I set my rifle up, and it was very nondescript. It did not look fancy. Decent rifle, but it did look fancy. And set it up, and I had my little green ammo case out with the ladder loads, and I'm like, this is the load that's going to do well. These are loaded to case overall length. These are touching the lands and grooves, yada, yada, yada. Went through all that. And I'm expecting, 5 shots inside of a nickel at 100 yards.
Right.
Which the rifle was, with the correct load, was easy to do. And I felt pretty good about that. And when I had shot a number of groups, 5 shots, you could cover them up with a nickel. I've got the rifle this moment. Anywho, these guys, and here's what kind of rubbed me wrong, Dave, and I'm sorry I'm going long on this. They were there, and
these guys are wrong with the military law enforcement guys now.
Law enforcement.
Back to that. Yeah.
So they were there, and they were in like black BDU breeches.
Right.
And they had the boot blouse.
Tactical, yeah.
And they had their Smedium t-shirts on.
Medium, yeah. Okay.
Medium. They were walking around the range, and I'm with blank RPD, and I'm with, Surf. Right. Anywho, the SOP at the range is whenever you're like, you go down there and you hang a number of targets, and whenever you're done shooting, just lock the bolt back or take the bolt out, and you sit there with your arms crossed, and what you're waiting is for everybody to quit shooting. We call range cold.
Right.
And what I would always do is I'd pull the bolt out of my rifle, so they know I'm not only am I done shooting, the rifle's inoperative.
Right.
So the guys looked over, and I had shot, I don't know, it's irrelevant. And I had shot a number of rounds, and I had pulled the bolt out of my rifle, and I had stuck it in my back pocket. And the guy looked there, he goes, "Are you done?" I'm like, "Well, I'm done for this string." He said, "Well, let's go. You want to go check targets? We're going to call range cold." I'm like, "Yeah, let's call range cold." And so, all the axes are open. We go down there, and these guys are high-fiving each other, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, fucking badass. You're a sniper." And I'm thinking to myself, now, let me tell you something. They had some serious hardware there. They had some
sure.
Remington 700 Sendero and 300 Win Mag.
Right.
They had some really nice hardware. When I walk by and I'm looking at what they got laid out on the bags, I'm like, man, I am jelly. Their skin is way nicer than mine. Whatever. So, I'm looking at my groups, and I've got some really nice. I've got a number of 5-shot groups you could cover up with a nickel or a quarter. Some not so good, but I knew like target 1 is this load, target 2 is this load. Right. And they're all, and I said, I was like, man, I'm dying to see what these guys are, trained. They got, yeah. I walked over, Dave.
You said it was 100 yards. 100 yards.
100 yards. 100 yards. And I walked over there, and I looked down at the guy. I'm like, hey, what y'all, I made a bullshit excuse. Hey, man, you guys doing okay? You want some water or yada, yada, yada. And I made a bullshit excuse. I didn't want them to meet me in the middle. I wanted to walk over in front of their targets and talk. So I'm walking and talking. What are you guys shooting? What's your load? Oh, we got the Black Hills ammo, supplied by.
They have a fucking clue. It's supplied by Black Hills. Yeah, they don't have a clue.
But they don't know. It probably was Black Hills. Or it might have been, or who knows.
But they're not gun guys. It's a tool. They're just grabbing it and using it, or they're told.
Correct. I get there, and I'm looking at the targets, and I'm like, holy fuck. The guy had one. It was probably 5 MOA. He had a 5-shot 100-yard group like that with like a 308 or 300 Win Mag. It was a Remington Sendero, which is I'm pretty sure it was a Remington Sendero, which is a damn nice rifle.
All right.
And I may be getting my dates crossed.
It doesn't matter. It's trivial at this point.
Right, but I don't remember the beginning end dates of the Sendero. Anyhow, the guy was like, what do you think about that? That's pretty good, huh? And I looked down at it, and I looked at him. I was like, is that number one buck?
No, you didn't.
I did. He said, what do you mean? I'm like, is that an 870? Number one buck, like full choke?
Right.
He said, no, you fucker, that's my damn 308 or whatever.
Yeah, dude realize it's a sub-MOA gun.
He's like, what do you know about shooting? And I was like, nothing. I was like,
Nothing.
what I do know? I said, my name is Hunter Elliott. Here's what I do know, fella. If ever you get called to a hostage situation and you roll up and you're fucking glassing the scene and you see me, under no fucking circumstances are you take the shot. Do you hear me? No, don't take the shot. Right? I was horrified. And I was out there with my girlfriend at the time, and I left her back at the bench. She said, how does this guy shoot? And I had me a little 60 power spot and scope, some old bullshit. And I'm like, baby, just glass over there and just peruse what they, and I was like, this is awful.
Yeah, no, it's real. Like, I'm looking up a guy to tell you on X, Pacific Northwest Gorilla. To shout out to him. I met this guy in 2019, did training with him. Follow him on social media. He does military surplus sales, but he does a lot of rucking and shooting out in Washington State. And every now and again, he throws a post up out there saying, your 20-year ago military history means jack shit when it comes to firearms today. It's shit like that. I'm paraphrasing it, but because that point obviously absolutely is true. Just because you were in the service during some wartime, maybe you got in a firefight, maybe you didn't. 20 years ago doesn't necessarily mean a goddamn thing to anything you grab and shoot and train with today.
Let me
he's absolutely right.
Real quick.
Go ahead, double down.
So, 37 PSR is a range outside of Bragg. It used to be owned by a fellow named Frankie McRae.
Okay.
Frankie McRae was a Green Beret instructor, and he was the real deal. He was an operator, but you would never know it to meet him.
Sure.
Super nice.
Most Green Berets I've met are very chill.
Real humble. All I knew is in the Army.
Right.
Didn't bring up nothing. I shot with him for years, and I just thought the guy was a damn natural shooter. I met his brother, and he goes, "Oh, you know Frankie?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've been shooting with Frankie." He said, he was an instructor at Green Beret School.
Like what?
I'm like, yeah. I didn't know that, but I believe it. Anyhow, Frankie did this. It was a match called Friday Night Fights, and it was in a shoot house, and it was night.
Before,
and I've talked about it. So anyway, he was the RO, and it was very if you had a door, you had to go in the door. You had to do a dynamic entry as your man one of a 4-man stack. And you have to be moving and or shooting, but you can't stop. You can't stand and shoot. You have to be moving and shooting. Now, if you come to a doorway, pie the corner.
Right.
You come to a door, it's a dynamic entry. And you couldn't run your light for more than 3 seconds at a time, or you got a procedural. He had a very, very well put together match. And I remember.
Yeah, that sounds like fun already.
Oh, it was amazing. I did about 4 with my GoPro on my head and filmed it. And it was probably, the shoot house was probably 20 rounds, 25, 30 rounds.
Right.
It changed every week.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember I showed up first time, and it's right outside of Bragg. It's bunch of Army dogs. I got my Marine Corps T-shirt on, and I'm
Of
talking
course you do. Of course you do.
with these guys. All in fun though. We're all brothers in
Oh
arms.
yeah. Oh yeah.
We're talking shit, and I shoot the match, and I come in like 12th out of like 30 people, which wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But like I would say 10 of those people were probably the first time they'd ever shot a gun. So,
Right.
I was middle of the pack.
Right.
And I remember I was kind of bummed because I thought I did great because I had no real procedurals. I didn't fuck up. And I'm leaving. I kind of got, my bottom lip poked out because I did way worse than I thought I would. And Frankie sees me. He's like, Hunter, what's up, man? What's the deal? I'm like, thought I was going to do better. He said,
Right.
You were in the military? I said, yes, sir. I said, I was in the Marine Corps. He said, when did you get out? I said, 1996. And this was probably 6, 8. No, I'm going to lie to you. This was 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
Okay.
And Frankie's like, when did you get out? I said, 96. He goes, oh, that was 18 years ago. I'm like, yeah. He goes, yeah, Hunter, it shows. You in the fucking class. And I'm like, what? I'm like, man, all we did in the Marines is train. He goes, yeah. He said, your techniques are great. They are great for 20 years ago.
Right.
He said, but you have no idea what's changed.
Yeah. You've got to evolve. You've got to keep learning. You got to keep adjusting.
And I started taking his classes, man. And I'm like, I didn't know what I didn't know.
Right.
What he knew, what this man taught me. I was like, yeah. I'm basing this off the training that I got. Now, when I got in the Marines, I took a couple classes here and there, but
Sure.
I never got serious until I learned, man, I didn't know what I didn't know.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's exactly right.
No, I can think of the few times like when I've been shooting with police officers, particularly military guys. I don't give a shit. They can say they are in whatever branch of service, and it's like, cool, bro. That means absolutely nothing because we're here at this competition. You shoot well, it's because you want to shoot well. Because if you're a general infantryman, that doesn't mean you know shit how to run this thing fast and efficient and accurately.
Right.
Because you don't use these things.
Right.
So if you know it, it's because you choose to learn it and you choose to know it, and that's awesome. More props to you. But cops, this is their primary thing, and so I'll say the cops I've shot with were actually had a pretty good guys. Didn't have a chip on their shoulder because they would shoot, and I'd be the guy that would go because I was like running these matches. We do weekly matches at a local range, and these cops would shoot. I'm like, fucking cops, and they're like, what? I was like, you heard me, fucking cops. You guys can't shoot for shit. Oh, we know, man. We know. We don't get off the train. I'm like, well, I'm glad you guys are here because you're getting better. I can see that you're getting better. I was like, the fuck do I know? I have no idea. I'm some late 20s, early 30s kid who's just shooting all the damn time. I was like, yeah, you guys don't know shit. But then you come across the ones that do shoot. I'm like, I'll call them out too. I'm like, dude, you can shoot. And almost all of them have the same story. And they go, yeah, I got marksman that one time and I was hooked.
Yeah.
Keep it up. So I keep training and I come shoot with you guys and have fun. And it's like, hell yeah, man. But because also they kind of became gun guys at that point, and I get it. Not every cop's gonna be a gun guy. I get it. But goddamn, they should be really, really, really proficient with a pistol.
I think far more than what, I've heard about what the qual is for police officers.
Which is varied all over the place too. But yeah, it's
I don't know that it's that heavy duty.
I don't think it is either.
I qualified expert in the Marine Corps with M16A2 and a handgun. So, which that's not an amazing accomplishment. That's a good baseline.
Right.
But it's still square range.
Right.
It's still square range. We did a lot of dynamic training with shoot houses and all, but that was pass fail.
Right.
That wasn't.
I was thinking you had my thought on a tangent earlier too. When we were talking about the dynamics of getting into a firefight to degree. The only thing I can say I've done besides like paintball and airsoft shit was a high range day. I took a class from Rogue Methods. We did a close contact gunfighter. At the end of the day, we had headgear on, had simunition pistols, or we could get to a simunition pistol. And I dove for that gun, grabbed that gun, fucking rolled up on my partner, shooting him. I know I started looking at his thigh and walked shots up just because from where I was on the ground and him charging me. Do I know how many shots I fired at him? I have a fucking clue, dude.
I have no idea.
If you'd asked me, I'd say probably 3, but I bet it's somewhere like 5 to 8.
Right.
You know, because it was just like the instinct of I was holding him and I was losing my energy. Like I was literally just petering out. And I was like, okay, I saw this twinkle of the gun. I'm going to give him a last final shove, get him off of me, make room. That was the whole point of the class. They want to teach us to control the room of a combatant. I make room off of him. I dove for the fucking gun and rolled over. And it was like on my side, on his shoulder, and just went, wah, 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 and just opened fire on his ass, you know. But do I have any idea how many rounds? Not the slightest clue.
But you were effective.
I'd like to think so. I mean,
here's the deal, Dave. If that was a real life scenario and you got this cat off you and you shot him in the thigh one time with a 9mm. I mean, is he going to be like, oh, well, fuck, I'm going to keep kicking your ass? And he's going to go, right. Damn, he just perforated my thigh.
And that cool. And that was the fun thing in our class. The first guys that fought in a pair like that and got a gun and got shots off, they like stopped. And our instructor, though, he goes, why'd you stop? He's like, well, I shot him. He's like, do you know those rounds stopped him? You're on time. You're supposed to fight for, I don't know if it was like, I think a minute maybe. He's like, or 45 seconds to a minute. He's like, keep fighting.
Dude, you know, and here's what, now, not that I'm an athlete, but here's what I don't think people understand. To fight another man for a fucking minute for your life.
Yeah. And like I said, it could have been 45 seconds, but still 45 seconds to 60 seconds.
But to go a minute, I mean,
the fact that you actually are doing that, and it's like you getting a gun and putting rounds on a dude. If you did that in 10 seconds in, you still keep fighting, though. You have to go off the idea of those rounds didn't stop him, and now he's coming for your gun, and you got to fight for control. And yeah, you're doing that for 45 seconds to 60 seconds,
and that's
it's an eternity.
Takes a lot of wind
to
fight a man for a minute.
And I'm pretty sure, did we do all 3 fights back to back to back? I think we did.
You'd want a break, because I mean, to go at somebody's ass wide open for a fucking 60 seconds, and I've done it. I mean, I wouldn't say we go wide open because like we weren't allowed to do any striking. There's no striking involved. It was all controlled, like head push. Yeah, but still, that requires
arm presses. It certainly did. I mean, we were all exhausted.
Your chest, you know,
we were all exhausted.
Yeah,
it was awesome. I would do it again in a heartbeat. A whole class with this guy. It was awesome.
Yeah, that sounds like a damn good class.
But exhausting. The point it made me think I need to do more cardio, before I take his class, because otherwise I won't last. This is like an appetizer class. I did Ohio Range Day.
Right. Yeah, I needed more cardio, but
oh my God,
I'm thinking cardio, carry a third magazine. Fuck it, I'm gonna carry the third magazine and have the extra beer.
Well, I don't know if I told you this not before, but that's what we talked about. It was like, we had our partners come at us, and it was like, well, wait a minute, why wouldn't I just shoot him right away? And he was like, well, you could do that. He goes, I'm all about giving you options. What if there's some reason you can't get to your gun? Maybe he got up on you faster than you realized. He goes, or maybe you just think, he goes, it's like this. He goes, if I'm with my family, he goes, I'm going to draw and shoot the motherfucker. He goes, if it's just me, I'm going to give a quick millisecond to size him up, go, I can throw this guy to the ground. And there's no need to shoot him and go into that whole next level that your life is now changing. So that was his whole concept. I'm just giving you options. It was like, I get that. That's interesting. That's cool. So that's why he wanted to teach us how to control somebody, control their hands are, and make room. I get it. It's totally cool.
But
otherwise, yeah, I'm going to carry extra rounds and just blow your ass away.
The Friday night fights was Frankie would always say, this is if you're at home and a home invasion happens and you're not alone. He's like,
right.
If you live alone and somebody kicks your front door in, he said, your ass better be going out the back door. He said, but if you're home and somebody kicks your front door in and your wife and daughter's there,
right?
He said, we're going to shoot, because what we would do is we would shoot the match. Then after the match, he would go over with you what you did right and what you did wrong.
That's cool.
And you would walk like you're done. You shot your match. And you would go back to start. And he would go, okay, here's what you did right. Here's what you did wrong. And then they had a big old notebook And so
Right.
when you're like, I'm ready for a class, Frankie's like, here's your strong points, here's your weak points. I've got Hunter Elliott right here at the page. This is
Right.
where you did good, this is where you did bad. And he kept all that shit in a journal about who's strong points and weak points. And so, like, me and some friends of mine showed up for a class, and he worked on we all had, like, even if we all three had different weak points, we were all assigned those weak points.
Right.
So he's like, okay, you got some strong points here. We're going to spend 20 minutes just working on your strong points. The next 2 hours, we're working on your weak points. And, and I'm like, well, Frankie, going in dynamic is not a weak point for me. He goes, yeah, but your buddy is. So we're all training together.
Right.
So, he would always bring the class down to the lowest common denominator, and you'd work from there.
Right.
Based off of your performance in them. And they were amazing classes. And the guy,
Dude, that sounds entertaining as fuck. Like, seriously.
There was a couple classes I took with Frankie, not a single round was fired.
Right.
You would clear an empty house with an empty gun.
Right.
Or he'd give you a blue gun, and you'd go into a room clearing a blue gun, and he'd be standing there watching. He'd say, ignore me. Clear this room. I'm watching you.
Yeah.
And
that's cool. That'd be entertaining. That'd be beyond entertaining. I would dig the shit out of that.
he retired and moved to fucking Florida.
Wow.
Sold the range.
Hey, good for him.
Yeah, I know, but
yeah, that's a bummer.
Like that.
That's a bummer. Like, that guy didn't have like somebody else to continue on what he was doing.
He sold the range, I think, to his RO, which has continued everything, probably to the equal standard. Knowing Frankie, and I knew the RO, and the RO was a good shooter too, Destry.
Right.
So I'm sure it's still up to the high standards that it used to be. But Frankie McRae, legendary shooter, man, legendary instructor.
That's cool.
So.
Well, let's wrap this up. We've been on here for now. Well, it says an hour 43, but we obviously have some shit we can edit out from step away from camera and stuff.
I bet it's still an hour and a half.
Probably. And it's funny as I'm looking at this, like, build drills. We talked about that. I had some. I really want to do sort of a deep dive onto you because I know this is right up your alley. Is cosmic horror.
Oh yeah.
But my focus is primarily on film, movies, because I don't read that much. And I actually had an idea, even a cover graphic if we covered cosmic horror. So I guess I'll have to save this for another bloody time.
Yeah, and I brought my knife out to talk about that.
I know. Well, that's, like I said, I can't remember if I brought this thing up last week or not.
You brought that out, but we were talking about carry knives,
Right?
and I'm like, this is my buck that I carry.
Oh yeah, like the cleaver edge almost.
Yeah, but I mean, time's up. What is it? Gives us more shit to talk about next week.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. We're trying to hit on some of the other things. And like I said, I don't care if the shit compounds because I don't want this to be this super structured. Here's our talking points for this week.
Right.
It's just it's literally having a conversation and talking about shit. That's all it is.
I think this is one of our better ones. Myself. You disagree or no?
No, I think.
Okay.
Fucking douchebag on the internet.
Well, I know, but I mean,
Who cares?
I know.
But at that point, yeah, let's wrap it from there. So, where do people find you, man? Where are you at?
Rangehot.com, baby.
Nice. And I can happily say I have my pitiful little website. It is live. I'm gonna make sure I double check I have it right.
It's not bad.
Oops.
It's not bad at all, Dave. You should be proud of that.
It's funny. Firemedia.com. Yeah, live-firemedia.com and has all my other social links there. You can find me there. Yeah, no, it's beyond stupid simple website because you know what? As much as I can do photography and graphic design, web design is not my fucking area, and I'm okay with that. So, till next time, people. Peace.
I'll leave you with one thing.
Go for it.
Look what I dug out of my fucking nose. I mean, look at that.